guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to share with you how I did on my 2020 goals. Now, I posted about this on my Instagram a few weeks ago that every December since 2015, I have set goals for the new year or New Year's resolutions or whatever you want to call them. And I know that that's kind of cliche and a lot of people don't like doing that because statistics show that like people who set New Year's resolutions don't stick to them. But for me, I set a really big one that year, which was quitting smoking, and I stuck to it and I was able to succeed, and that kind of just set me off on the path to start doing New Year's resolutions every single year from there on out. And up until this point, I hadn't really talked about them on my channel because prior to the summer, I was mostly making videos about my journey trying to conceive and you know, the infertility that I was dealing with. And then when I was successful in getting pregnant, talking about pregnancy and motherhood and stuff like that. And so it was only like 6-7 months ago that I started sharing here about our financial goals and some of my personal goals. And so I thought it would be fun today to look back on the goals that I set last December for this year, 2020, and see how I did. Now, for my goals, I don't do anything fancy. I just open a note in my phone. And so you can see here, I have a note from January 2nd, 2020 that's called 2020 goals. It's kind of funny looking back because a lot of times, you know, you'll set goals for yourself and you'll completely forget about them. But then other times you'll set goals and you'll have totally blown them out of the water. And a little bit of both happened for me this year. Okay, so first of all, no new credit card debt. We definitely were able to accomplish that goal. Me personally, I was able to accomplish that, and my husband, so us together as a married couple did not take on any new credit card debt. And in fact, we paid off over $30,000 of credit card debt in 2020. So that goal I totally destroyed. I'm so extremely proud of myself. It feels so good. At first, when we had paid off all of our credit card debt, I made a video talking about how it felt to be credit card debt free. And I had just paid off all of our credit cards, or we had just, and so and I say I sometimes because I'm more like in charge of doing the actual payments and stuff, but it's my husband's money and my money together and our debts together. So anyway, yeah, I just made the last payment on our credit card debt, like just I think like days or maybe just a couple weeks before making that video. And so it hadn't really sunk in yet, but now that we're in the place where we don't have any credit card debt, we can pay cash for everything, and it feels so awesome. Like, it's better than I thought it would feel. And I thought with having the student loan debt still, I wouldn't quite feel the way I feel already, but just having our student loan debt, having really low interest, and our credit card debt gone and no other debt besides our house, like, it feels really, really, really amazing. Okay, next goal. Better financial situation overall. Now, this one I also totally destroyed. When we were going into 2020, my husband and I knew that we really wanted to get serious about starting our debt-free journey, or at least getting our finances in order. And at that point, we really didn't know what exactly it would look like. And at that point, we didn't know there was going to, you know, that 2020 was gonna look the way it did this year. But we just knew that something needed to change. And so we had a specific goal of no new credit card debt, but then beyond that, we weren't quite sure what that was gonna look like. If it was gonna mean throwing a bunch of money into retirement, if it was gonna mean, you know, getting a second job, if it was gonna mean focusing on paying off debt. You know, we didn't quite know exactly what it was gonna look like when we were setting that goal. And as we got into January and February, we really decided that 2020 was gonna be the year that we went all in on our debt, put every single extra dollar we could find towards debt payoff, and improve our cash flow situation overall. So get some of these debts paid off so our total payments would go down, get rid of that high interest debt, all that kind of stuff. And this was a goal for a number of years. We were working towards this, and we did pay off a car in 2019 and paid off most of our second car, you know, by the end of 2019. But in 2019, we also took on new debt, and we had, you know, put stuff on credit cards and didn't have an emergency fund and all that kind of stuff. So while we had been working on it, it just, what we were doing wasn't working, and so we kind of had just had enough. We had a baby now, and we just felt like it was time. We were both ready, we were both on board, on the same team. Our, you know, goals were aligned, whereas at other points in the past, we hadn't quite lined up in the same way. So everything kind of came together, and we were able to make a ton of progress on paying off debt. We paid off like I said, $30,000 of credit card debt. We paid off my car, which had like $6,000 left on the loan, and we paid a bunch against our student loan. So total this year we'll end up with having paid off more than $60,000 worth of debt, which is a number that like I can't even believe saying out loud that we paid off. Now, if you're familiar with our story, you know that we still have another $300,000 of student loan debt to pay off. And that is a topic for other videos, but in today's video, we're not gonna talk about that. We're just gonna talk about all the progress we made and how we accomplished our goal this year that I had set for improving our financial situation overall. Okay, next goal, exercise more. Well, more is relative. I guess technically I did accomplish this goal because there were 2 months this year where I did exercise 5 days a week, or I think maybe 2 weeks, maybe it was like 4 days a week, but essentially 4 to 5 days a week for about 2 months before I gave up on it again. This one is a tough one because, first of all, I've never enjoyed working out. Some people like it, I just don't. I like how I feel afterwards, but I don't enjoy the actual workouts, and I don't enjoy motivating myself to work out. And I just don't think that's ever gonna change. If you have any tips about how to get motivated to work out, then please comment below because I wanna know if you guys have any secrets that have worked for you. But yeah, so when I was pregnant, I did not work out at all because when I was in early pregnancy, I was so sick. When I started feeling better in the second trimester and I did a few workouts, I started getting a lot of Braxton Hicks contractions, and which are like the practice contractions, and it made me really nervous. And so I just didn't want to do it. I didn't work out at all. And then postpartum, I had a really, really hard time recovering from delivery that caused some trauma to my body. So anyway, so there was a long period of time where I couldn't work out or didn't feel comfortable working out, and then I got into a groove for a little bit over the summer where I was working out a lot, and then I just fell off again. So I need to get back into it. I did work out more in 2020 than I did in previous years, but I wouldn't say what I did was what I was envisioning for myself this year, but I'll give myself half credit for this one because technically I did work out more this year than I did last year or the year before. Drink more water. Okay, this one was a huge fail. When I was pregnant and when I was breastfeeding, I was so good about drinking water because it was critical to me being able to function. But as soon as I was done breastfeeding at the end of 2019, I really fell out of my routine with staying on top of drinking water. There's just so many benefits to drinking water and staying hydrated, and I just, like, I feel better, I sleep better, just you digest better, just everything. There's just no downside to drinking more water besides having to pee more, which is actually a benefit because then it gets you up out of whatever you're doing to like stretch your legs and stuff. So really, there's just no downside to doing this. It's just a matter of motivation. And I actually bought a nice new big water bottle this year and was planning to use it, and used it for a few weeks and then just fell off. So I don't really have an excuse for this one. It's just I was being lazy and didn't do it. And so yeah, I put this on my list actually every year, and because I think it's that important, and I'm definitely gonna put it on my list again next year, but yeah, this one was definitely a fail. Okay, and the last one that I put on here was more regular YouTube posting. So I used to make videos maybe, I don't know, it was maybe once a week. Sometimes I would post 2 a week, sometimes I wouldn't post a video for 2 or 3 weeks, and that was, I didn't really have an upload schedule, especially when I was trying to conceive, because some weeks there would be a lot going on, and I would have a lot of doctor's appointments, or I'd be taking pregnancy tests all week or something, and there would be a lot of stuff to talk about, and then other weeks I'd be not really doing much, and so I didn't really have a lot to post about. But now that I've been talking more about our personal like financial journey and goals and stuff like that, it is much easier to have a regular upload schedule. So if you don't know, I post videos every Monday at noon Eastern time, and then sometimes I'll post a second video for the week, but in general I've posted every single Monday for the past, I want to say like 5 months or so, and that has been really consistent. So I'm super proud of myself. I definitely accomplished this goal this year, and it has been nice to get into a routine with YouTube and posting, and I just love talking to you guys so much, whether it's talking about trying to conceive or pregnancy or personal finance and all of it. I've just enjoyed it so much and have so much fun talking to you guys. So I'm really glad that I got into a normal routine with it. I get to do something that I'm passionate about with, you know, making these videos and talking to you guys and interacting in the comments and stuff. And so I'm really glad I have this like passion project that I have become more dedicated to and consistent with. And yeah, that one was definitely a win this year. Okay, so that is it for my 2020 goals. I am going to make a video very shortly here, probably going up later this week, on my 2021 goals, and so watch out for that. But before I go, I just want to give you guys a couple suggestions if you are going to try to make some New Year's resolutions or set some goals for the new year. There's a couple things that I try to do when I'm setting my goals, and so I just want to share those with you that I think really just help your chance of achieving the goals that you set. So first of all, you want to pick something realistic. Unless you have a plan to achieve that goal or get close to it, you don't want to set yourself up for failure on something that's just not realistic. Like, I want to be a professional athlete next year, and unless you are like on the path to doing that today, then you don't want to choose something that you know is just not possible, because it's just going to be discouraging. You want to be aggressive with your goals and kind of push yourself to set a goal beyond what you think is possible. Like for us, it was no new credit card debt. We had never done that before. I didn't know how we were going to do it, but I knew we were dedicated to our finances and coming up with a plan and really like, you know, giving it our all. So I've set that as what I thought was a realistic goal, even though I had never been able to achieve it in previous years. My next tip for goal setting is write it down. If you don't write your goals down, there's no way, first of all, that you're gonna remember them at the end of the year. And it's just, to stay dedicated to working on them, you need to have them written down. You need to commit them to paper, not just have this thing in your head. Like, write it down and say it out loud to someone, and, you know, put it out there. Because if you don't put it out there, to me, it feels like you're not fully committing and taking it seriously. So writing it down, or typing it, you know, in your phone or something, but having it, a record of it in black and white, I feel like is really important. All right, now what I've done for my goals is share it with other people to keep me accountable. And so, you know, I've done that through YouTube. I've also talked to my friends and family about some of these goals. And I feel like when you are telling other people, not only does it convince yourself more of the possibility that you could achieve the goals, but also gives you like some accountability that other people know about it. So if you don't do it, then it's not just gonna be you that knows, it's gonna be other people. I feel like having that accountability with other people knowing what your goals are really helps you stick to them and feel motivated, and you wanna like show, hey, I did it, and have somebody see that you set that goal and you stuck to it, and it feels really good to be able to do that and have pride in that. And so that's something that I would definitely recommend. Okay, next, don't give up on your goals even if you don't do them like 100%. Like, there were weeks when I was really good about drinking water, and there were weeks where I was bad, but it didn't mean that I was like, well, I'm just not gonna try to drink water for the rest of the year because February I did a bad job drinking water. Like, stick to it and take it one day at a time and do what you can do each day. But even though you fail or you backslide or you don't meet those goals, you know, one day or 1 week or 1 month of the year, doesn't mean that you shouldn't get back on the horse and keep trying. When I was quitting smoking, the way I was trying to look at it is every single day that I didn't have a cigarette was a win versus every day that I smoked was a loss. And so I was trying to quit for a long time leading up to actually committing to quitting, and that's the mentality I tried to shift to. And then once I was fully there, and then I set that goal and I put it out there and wrote it down, every single day that I didn't smoke, I counted that as a win, and I took it one day at a time, or sometimes 1 hour at a time. I was like, hey, I'm not gonna smoke for the next 5 minutes, and then 5 minutes from now, I can change my mind, but for the next 5 minutes, I'm not gonna smoke. And I literally took it in increments that small to get to the point now where I quit smoking 5 years ago. And you know, it wasn't easy, and some days were harder than others, but if you just kind of take it one day at a time and just count each win as a win rather than a screw up as a loss, then you have a much more positive view of how you're doing. It's like a glass half full kind of mentality, and I think it keeps you a lot more motivated. So that is it for today's video. If you guys had set goals for 2020 and you want to let me know how you did, comment below and let me know. Or if you're setting some goals for 2021, I'd love to hear what you guys are planning for next year. Like I said, I will be posting a video in the next few days on my 2021 goals, so I look forward to talking to you guys about that soon. If you like this video, make sure you smash that like button to help out my channel. And if you want to see more videos like this and follow along with my debt-free journey, then hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have you as a subscriber, and I'll see you guys soon in my next video. Bye.